Do you want to be a better dungeon master? Me too. Today, I want to talk about fudging. That's right, another social media personality wants to weigh in on the topic of fudging dice rolls. Not necessarily. Now, for those of you who don't know, fudging a dice roll is what it typically means is that a dungeon master chooses to make some sort of action, rolls the dice to determine the outcome, looks at the outcome, or the dice roll, decides they don't want that outcome, and then changes that. Some people call that cheating. Some people call that cultivating a better experience. I call it do what you want at your own table. What I want to talk about today is not fudging dice rolls, but rather why we do it and an alternative that we might want to consider. Now, I can't speak for everybody, but I will speak for myself. When I feel the urge to fudge a dice roll, typically what I'm really feeling the urge to do is to take back a action that I did not mean to take. Maybe I didn't think about the consequences of making that attack at a level 1 wizard with 1 hit point left, and that if I rolled a nat 20, that would flat out kill that character. Maybe I didn't mean to pick a fight at all. I don't know. There's a lot of different times I find myself wishing I had made a different decision. That's kind of what happens when you're playing a fast-paced role-playing game. Your emotions get high, and you get into kind of a mode, and sometimes you regret the mode that you got in. The issue to me isn't that I want to fudge the dice. The issue for me is that I started taking actions I wish I had not taken, which is why my alternative to fudging the dice rolls is fudging the actions instead. What do I mean by that? Well, let me give you an example using Lost Mines of Phandelver from the starter kit for Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. In Lost Mines of Phandelver, the very first encounter that the players will go through is a kill box in which a number of archers, goblin archers, are going to shoot arrows down onto the hapless players. Oh no, right? For those of you who know Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition rules on ranged attacks, you know that you can't make them non-lethal. And if you are rolling against a bunch of level 1 characters and you roll a nat 20, there's a good chance you just one-shot killed that player character. That probably wasn't your intent. But what are you going to do? They're archers. They have to arch, right? No, not at all. You're the game master. You can decide whatever action you want. So what I would do is I would choose a suboptimal action. And if I'm really thinking through it, I'll give a justification for it as well. So let's think about these goblins for a second. Do they want to kill everybody in the party? Why? Are they just murderous, horrible people? Or maybe they have a different goal. Maybe they want to take hostages. Maybe they want to ransom the party back to the town of Phandelver for money, cash money. They live in a capitalist hellscape just like we all do. They get it. Maybe they don't think about the fact that the players could escape because they're overconfident. So they decide we're going to get those pesky adventurers. We're going to ransom them back, whatever. So what do you do though? They're archers, you still have to arch, right? Sure, you can shoot their backpacks and cause their stuff to spill out everywhere, hopefully distracting them for a moment. You could shoot arrows with ropes attached to them and then have the goblins rappel down, swinging their scimitars in a swashbuckler type fashion, although with a flat of the blade as to not kill anybody. Goblins are smart. They know that if they have a dead person, they won't be able to ransom back that dead person. They need a live person. And they also know that party members are probably more likely to come along with them when they're unconscious. Look, you don't have to treat every combat as a kill-em-all combat. And I think that's the root of a lot of the fudge dice roll issue is people approach combats in Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition as a foregone conclusion that it's going to be a war of attrition and that the only way to end it is to kill, kill, kill. Sure, maybe your party thinks that way. But do you ever think that maybe your party thinks that way because that's how you've always presented the enemy? I don't know. That's a conversation for a different day. Look, the point I'm trying to make here is that you don't have to choose the most optimal tactic for the enemy to kill the player characters. You can choose to have them do something else. And the more practice you get with that, the better you're going to be at justifying those actions for anybody who might question them. If you want to fudge your dice rolls, hey, go right ahead. It's your table. Play how you and your players want to play. That's great. I love the fact that you're even playing. If you don't ever want to fudge the dice rolls, also your prerogative. If that's the way you and your players want to play, great, wonderful. If you want an alternative, try fudging the tactics.